William Teresi. It's great to have your company this Tuesday. Now, a High Court judgment has cleared the way for the Green Party to use the Waka jumping legislation to evict Darleen Tana from Parliament. Now, Tana took the party to court in an attempt to stop them ousting her from Parliament after she was suspended from the party after an inquiry into migrant exploitation. She resigned from the party in July but wants to remain in Parliament as an independent MP. Now, the ordeal also saw, and of course our Pacific community is well aware of this, 3 Pacific members resigned from the Greens over their treatment of Tana. Darleen Tana joins us live this morning. A very good morning to you.
Matamari, good morning.
Hey, thanks for your time. Firstly, give us an update on what's the situation, what's going on with you and the Green Party at the moment.
Yeah, sure. But before I start, if it's okay, I'd just like to, mihi tuatahi ki te runga rawa moana nei mana, ki tanga ki tātou o te rā ki ngā huhua o te wā, haere atu, haere atu, haere atu rā. Kia tātou te kānohi ora, tēnā tātou. He uri tēnei no te taitoke rau, e mihi kawana kia koutou. Just wanting to acknowledge, all the magnificence around us as we do as tangata whenua this morning, and acknowledging everybody here. With respect to your question, where does it stand between myself and the Green Party? I think where it's always stood for myself, which is to find a way to hohau te rongo, to make the peace between peoples, and going through a judicial review may have seemed a bit of a strange way to do that. But it was important when I saw the impact, the cancel culture behaviour that was happening to Green Party supporters who were supporting me. I needed to just call time, if you will, on some horrendous behaviour. And not, to our Pacifica tuahine observed that for themselves, but it was, against Pākehā members of the Green Party as well. So being able to call time and just say, hey, let's just cut some nonsense, please, and let's bring this into a court of law and have a discussion. So there, in my affidavit, I put forward a proposition to hohau te rongo, to make the peace with the Green Party. And I still hold that, irrespective of what is happening. Tapu is breached. And, te ao wairua, the spiritual realm, is as real for me as the end of my nose. So, that peace needs to be made. And that's where I stand today, still, with the Green Party.
Because of that High Court judgment, the Green Party's been pretty vague on what the next steps will be for the party, but it's looking as though, and I'm going to be blunt here, it looks as though your political career could be coming to an end, at least in this capacity. Have you come to terms with that?
Oh, look, I never got into politics to become a career politician. I went in for the kaupapa. And for me, that's very much finding, being able to reform some legislature around matters pertaining to taiao, to the moana, to the whenua. So I'm not in there to become a career politician. So I don't have hang-ups about letting that go. The mahi still continues. And yes, I guess the Green Party are taking advice on what their next steps will be with relation to the party hopping legislation, as am I.
With all that in mind, and the Green Party and the front that it's been putting on to the media over this situation, it is abundantly clear that they do not want you in the party. What do you make of the behaviour from the Green Party, particularly the leaders at the moment, or more so Chloe Swarbrick, and the handling of this situation?
When things are going really well, it's great. It's the best show in town. But it's when things get tough that you see the real momo of the people or the organisation. And when allegations started cropping up around migrant exploitation relating to my husband's business, and I just want to make the point that there's still allegations only even today. There's no proof to those things yet. All right, there's a process that needs to go to, but when allegations started and the decision to go into an investigation and how that panned out, and then the result of that, and then the party coming out and saying really derogatory, demeaning things about my person, about my whānau. That's when I saw, okay, this is not a crowd that I can run with, even if I wanted to. Um, it's one thing to say things like your values are all about non-violence, appropriate decision making, that you uphold te tiriti o Waitangi. But when you don't follow tiranga, is it, that you say you uphold, when you're prepared to slam wahine Māori, and I'm not the first, um, then you've got a real problem within the party. And I had thought that particularly after Dr. Elizabeth Kerekere's horrendous departure, that we might have learnt some as a party, but clearly the party had not.
Knowing what you know now about the Green Party, do you have any regrets about joining and being an MP for the Green Party?
Oh, look, I'm not one who lives my life by regrets. I I think that things happen and for a reason. And what I know is that
But the
I
treatment of you has been
arrived,
shocking.
excuse me,
Some would argue the treatment towards you has been shocking.
it has been shocking. It's been incredibly violent, but I, I don't dwell on that. My whānau and I and our hapu, we still have real life issues and challenges to face. Getting a whare, being able to afford to put kai on the table, being able to go out into our normal pātaka, which is our moana or our awa or our whenua, to be able to get our kai. Those are the real struggles. This other stuff that's happening around political parties and power plays and general demonstration of how far they have yet to journey to achieve, real honouring of te tiriti o Waitangi and Aotearoa. That's a side distraction, frankly, from the real issues that all of our whānau are facing.
Yeah. Here's a question, and I want to dive into the what happened with the Pacific members for just a moment. 3 Pacific Green members resigned from the party over the treatment of yourself. It was ultimately the last straw, they say. They think about the Elizabeth Kerekere situation. What do you make of not 1, not 2, but 3 Pacific members exiting the Green Party? What does that say?
I'll be very honest, it broke my heart to see that the mamae had gone so far. As I said, I had hoped that we'd uh, not resolve things, but that we'd learnt some things from Dr. Elizabeth Kerekere's departure. We haven't, and there is still much that needs to be healed within the party. Following that, following myself too, yes, 3 Pacifica members and mihi atu kia rātou, that they were 3 amazing, they are 3 amazing wahine who gave so much to the political party, and the party, I would say, the political leadership failed them. And, they're not alone. There are many members who are today still feeling that deep, deep hurt and questioning whether they will continue to be members in that party, and are staying on only because they recognize, like that we need to heal this within the party. We need to heal this for tangata tiriti, in as much, not so much for tangata whenua. Tangata whenua is okay, but tangata tiriti need to heal this and resolve this and confront what has happened here.
With all that in mind, the 3 particular members I'm talking about, Pacific members, also made some pretty major claims about the party, feeling culturally unsafe. It was a
Yeah.
culturally unsafe environment. Is that valid? Is the Green Party a culturally unsafe place for Māori and Pacifica?
There's a massive distinction between um, what I would say the membership and the political party leadership. So I want to make that distinction very, very clear. Things change when you go into Parliament, and that is where we see really the reversion uh, to colonizer behavior, and there it is culturally unsafe. Um, the membership is something else. There, people live by those values, and they are on a learning journey. But it's clear that we need to do more. If we say we're going to be non-violent, uphold te tiriti o Waitangi at a political level, then we need to start doing that, please. I mentioned earlier, when the going gets tough, then you see what really happens, and it is unsafe at that level. Yes.
Dare I ask, would you warn Pacific people before joining the party, knowing what you know?
Oh, look, I think everybody takes their own decisions for themselves, and we know that any political party is but a vehicle, right? It's just, and it's not the only show in town. I would also say it like that. Um, it's up for everybody to make those decisions for themselves, whether they feel safe, whether they feel well, whether they feel at home in those spaces. I think it's going to depend a lot on the leadership, quite frankly. Dr. Elizabeth Kerekere talked about an epic failure of leadership within the Green Party, and from my experience, um, I will have to agree. And so it's not something that I would advise people against, but it is something that I would advise people to keep their eyes open and their ears to the ground, and see whether they feel well in that environment for themselves.
Chloe Swarbrick, since coming in over James Shaw, I want your honest opinion here. Is she right for the role of co-leader, or is it doing more harm than good?
Um, for myself personally, um, she is an incredible person, incredible. Um, but the the I don't that's not a leader that I will ever follow going forward. Um, my leader is somebody who upholds the mana, the mauri, and the tapu of everyone and everything around them, and that has not been demonstrated with me. Um, so no, I think we're all on that journey together, and I hold sufficient compassion and understanding to Awhina to help, to support where I can, if that's wanted. But no, her leadership is not one for me that I would want to see for Aotearoa, um, that I would ever follow.
Okay. Now, just very quickly before we wrap this up, do you have confidence in the leadership as it stands when it comes to actually effectively advocating for Māori and Pacifica, knowing what we know, like I say, extraordinary claims made about party leadership?
Look, I look instead to the leadership that we need to follow. And I see that from, tangata whenua. I see that from tikanga Māori. Uh, if you say that you support those things, then I want to see you do it. We have enough word salad um, in the world, and we need more actions and doing. So in terms of the Green Party leadership, that's what I'd want to see, is actually more, what are you doing actually for for Maori, for Pacifica? Where are you on the ground actually doing for? And if so that's what I would like to see for them.
It looks as though, just very quickly, I know I've got to wrap this up and go to an ad break. It looks as though your political career is coming to an end. Have you had any thoughts yet about what you're going to do next?
Oh, look, there's always mahi to be doing, and there's always the kaupapa. I mean, I was working in the moana and in the marakai and in our communities since knee-high, so that work still continues. So I'm not phased about that at all. So, yeah, oh darn, go back to my kumara patch. E pai ana tēnā mōku.
Darleen Tana, ex-Green MP, thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Mauri ora kia tata.